So do you have any questions on this terminologies wise? We discussed about users, groups, those wise.
Uh, we we discuss only about IAM users. We didn't go to groups.
Groups. Yeah, today we'll discuss about groups, roles and policies wise we'll discuss today.
Okay.
Okay. So we know users represents an individual person or an application, correct? So it can be assigned security credentials like passwords and access keys can belong to a multiple IAM groups or maybe one single IAM group. I mean, the person will be there, right? User, the person or application can be belongs to a multiple groups. We'll see what is groups then. Group is a collection of IAM users. I mean, multiple users are there means that we call it as a group. Permissions are assigned to the groups instead of individuals. This is the very valid word. Okay, how come means you think you have 10 users are there. All 10 users are IT service engineers only. Now I want to grant all the users have same permission will be there. Same team means definitely same permissions will be there, right?
Yes.
Maybe one or two guys have seniority, they might be required some more permission, but remaining people have a junior level people, they might be required limited permissions like that. Okay, but at the end, everybody become in a one kind of team, that's a service team, correct? Such a moment, instead of granting permissions individually, person by person granting, you create a group, you grant the permission to the group first, then whoever fit into that particular group, right? Add everybody to that group so that
Oh,
you no need to manage the permissions individually. Instead of managing individually what you are doing, you'll be creating a group and adding everybody to that group. But senior folks also will be there in this group, and also senior folks are required more permissions, right? For them, we'll create one more group. All senior folks will be added to that group. That's the
yeah.
reason I mentioned it here, right? Can belong to a multiple IAM groups. That means one user can belongs to a multiple groups
Okay.
based upon their juniority, senior levelity, based upon their experience in that context. Okay, that's about the
Oh,
users and groups. Then what are roles? Roles are very important aspect in the AWS cloud with IAM. Used for granting temporary access to AWS services. Remember, roles will use to grant temporary access to AWS resources. What are the AWS resources? Like EC2, S3, VPC, like this many services will come, right? For those services, temporarily you can able to grant the access. Temporarily means how long? Might be for an hour or might be for a 12 hours or 5 hours like that. So the hours are over. What will happen? Permission will be revoked. Again, they want to access. Again, they can able to use that. But remember, they never use any username password. Without username password, they can able to access the resources. That too with the more secure.
no, they
That's
don't use username password. Directly using roles they can access.
exactly. That's what we are going to experience it practically.
Okay.
Okay. For an example, you think like this. As a user, that person will going to log in with their username password. Okay, that's different. But that person wants to access this particular service from the role, does not require any username password especially.
Okay.
Okay, let's take a simple example. You are the IAM user. Okay, you logged into your user.
Okay.
You don't have any permissions.
Okay.
You have just a user. You have a username password. You have a MFA code also. Make using those. You logged in. You are not able to access anything. Anything you access, you'll get permission denied error. Okay. Then
Yes.
later, I mapped a role to you for using S3 bucket. Okay. Then whenever you logged into your account, when you use the role which I'm granted to you, right, for S3 bucket, if you click on that role, then you'll go to the S3 bucket and you'll be able to access the S3 bucket things. Okay. Once the time period is over, maybe 1 hour or 2 hours you use that. Then post that it will be auto log out. The role. The
Okay.
period of the role is with temporary. Then that later again you want to log in means again you can click on that role to relog in
Okay.
like that. Then who all are can able to use this role can be assumed by users, applications, or AWS services. Like who all the people can use this means services can use. I mean within your AWS there are plenty of services are there, right? For those this particular role can be used, and also users can be used, and some of the third-party applications also can be used by these particular roles. Clear?
Applications or services will use a role.
For example, last class I said, right? Application nothing but CLI, command line interface. I mean, those are having without username password, they have a access key, secret access key means
That's
we
less
can
use.
right. For them also we can grant this.
Okay.
Then IAM policies. Next one. Policies are equivalent to permissions only. IAM permissions we read out, right? That one. A kind of permissions means those have the access. That's the permissions we used to call. IAM policies are JSON based documents that define permissions. Remember, here we are going to learn the little bit coding side and the JSON, how to write a JSON elements, how to define the permissions. Those things we are going to learn. JSON nothing but
Okay.
JavaScript object notation. JavaScript object notation. This is Java code.
Okay.
Attached to a users means once you created the policy, right? That policy can be attached to users, groups, and roles. These three peoples we can able to attach. So remember,
Okay.
policies there are two types. One is AWS managed policies and inline policies. Remember, there are two types of policies are there: managed policies, inline policies. I'll show that anyway. Okay.
Okay.
Again, in the
Agent
managed,
line customer.
exactly, I'll come to that. I
Okay.
said two types, correct? One is managed policy, another one is inline policy. Two types I said. Again, in
Okay.
managed policy, again two subdivisions are there. That
Okay.
is AWS managed policy, then customer managed policy.
Oh, you didn't mention that here. So,
Inline
okay,
policy,
for
I didn't mention.
that
I'll add it there later. Okay. Uh,
managed policies, inline policies, correct?
Managed
First,
policies, inline policies.
okay.
Manager policy two types: AWS manager policy and customer manager policy.
Okay.
Inline policy, that's a single. Then what is the difference between AWS manager policy and customer manager policy? Name only denotifying already. AWS
Yeah.
manager policy nothing but AWS already created this particular policies in every account. Your account, my account, everybody's account, already these are created. That is called as a AWS manager. Then what is customer manager? As per our requirement, we can able to create our own policies as per our demand. That is called as a customer manager policies. Then what is this inline policies then? Inline policies are defined for particular object, particular role. It could be a particular group or it could be a particular role. Remember, I'm always using the word particular here.
Okay.
Means assume that username is Suresh. Only Suresh wants to access something. Not everybody. User Suresh only wants to access something. Then I can create an inline policy to Suresh. And remember, the policy which I created for Suresh, it cannot be transferable to anybody.
Okay. Customize kind of, no?
Our manager policy, it can be transferable.
Okay.
I mean, the same policy I can attach to group, I can attach to role also. Where customer manager means, but inline means look at the word inline, nothing but inlined with user group or role. If
Okay.
I, for example, I said user Suresh means in Suresh only I can create a policy that only applicable to Suresh only. If I create it for group means for that group only it applicable. But if it applicable to the group means definitely those are part of the group, everybody can access that. If I take a role means it will be in line with role. Who can access the role means those guys will get the permission like that.
Okay.
Clear?
Two
So
policies. One is inline policies, and what are the other policies? In manage policies.
managed
Under manage,
policies
we have AWS
type
manage, custom manage.
customer managed.
Okay.
Let's will begin some adventure on the practical side. Okay.
Okay.
First thing we'll see for a grouping one. Okay. User groups, logical grouping of the users, attach policies at a group level. Example, developers, QA, admins. We'll create three groups. Okay. Developers, QA, admins. And we have a task, create a group called dev team and attach Amazon EC2 read only access. Okay, then we need to create four groups now. Okay,
Okay.
developers, QA, admins and dev team. I won't create four groups. I'll show for one group. Okay, then rest you can do.
Developers and dev team are same, no? No.
Developers and dev team both are same only, but for understanding wise, for task wise only I given like that.
Okay, fine, fine.
Okay.
Okay.
And once we done user groups, then we'll go for users. Okay.
Okay. But normally we'll create user first and then we'll go to user group, no? Just asking.
Uh, both are same. Either we can create a group and we can go, or user we can create and we can go. Can be anything. First we'll create a group, then we'll understand, then we'll go for users. Okay.
Okay. This IAM is basically Active Directory in on-premises, right?
Exactly. You can feel like that. Okay. We're in the IAM dashboard. If you search IAM, you'll get to this page. Okay. Then you can able to see user groups left side. Click on user groups. Click on user groups. Since some of the users are already there, so I'll delete them.
Okay. One doubt,
Mhm.
Shiva. When you're deleting, why it is not, do you want to delete yes or no? We have to mention delete. We have to mention the exact role
This
name
is meant.
again. Why they have mentioned like that? Little bit complicated.
uh, you feel like a complicated, but this will only save you.
Oh, okay.
Ask for yes or no, simply anybody can able to click on that and it can go on. At least if you put delete exponentially, you putting delete means you are aware about, right, the impact.
Yeah, and
That means
okay.
thinking that this is not required, that's the reason you're deleting, correct?
Yes.
Then AWS, I mean, for example, you deleted the resources and you cannot blame with AWS, right? Like I was the resources, but it was deleted. Who deleted? You only deleted because you only
Yes.
given the acknowledgement. See, they
Yes.
explicitly mentioning delete for user groups permanently. Question mark. All the users in this group will lose the group permissions. This
Okay.
action cannot be undone. To confirm the deletion, enter delete in the text input field below. If you perfectly enter delete, then only. If suppose, see, I remove the E, but delete is grayed out.
Okay.
Matching one only we need to give.
Okay.
Okay. So now I don't have any groups. Let's will prepare the group. Create a group. User group name. Enter a meaningful name to identify this group. Okay. I'll give dev team. I'll give the name called dev team. Okay. This is my group name.
Okay.
Next, I want to add the user to the group. Okay. But I have a users means I can add. But very first time if you're creating, you don't have any users, right? Since we started creating group first.
Yeah.
Later we can create and we can add it anytime. Okay. Then the second step, I mean, this step I'm not doing right now.
Okay.
Permissions also I'm not attaching.
Okay.
Just straight away I'll come and click on create a group. Okay. group is created
Okay.
and is showing the warning. A user group is a collection of users. Use groups to specify permissions for a collection of users. This is a group name. Users are 0. Permissions not defined. And when did you created that? Now only you created that. Okay. Let's will explore a bit more on the this group categorization. Summary. User group name is dev team. Creation time. This is the time period we used to create. This is the IST time zone. UTC plus 530. It's IST time zone. That is very close to 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Then another important word is ARN. Another important word is ARN. What is this meaning of ARN? Amazon resource name. Remember the word ARN nothing but Amazon resource name. What is the use of this? This will going to represent the resources. This will going to represent the resources. Another word if I want to say, for an example, you created a group called dev team, right?
Yeah.
You are the human. You aware about what is this meaning of this group and what exactly you are doing in this group. You are aware about that. But do you think AWS can understand this name? Because AWS is not a user. AWS is not a human. AWS is a kind of a one application, correct? As an application, it cannot understand that. That's the reason in AWS world, everything will be called as a ARN, Amazon resource name. That means AWS internally will convert to like this format. What is this? You can see the first keyword ARN is there, colon. We are under the AWS account, correct? Then
Yeah.
ARN colon AWS colon. What service you are accessing? IAM. That means ARN AWS account service name. If suppose
Okay.
you're accessing S3 means instead of IAM S3 will come. If you're accessing VPC means VPC will come. Particular service will come where you are
So,
accessing what you are accessing.
so based on the service you are using, the ARN will be many. That means if you're having 20 services in your account, there'll be 20 ARN name.
Exactly. Here this is for service level. Okay. IAM is a service. EC2 is a service. S3 is service. Like the service level. Again, inside the service, again sub service will be there, right?
Yeah.
But those also again sub ARN will be there. Let's experiment. Till this is clear, correct? Then
Yeah.
post this, there's some number will be there. What is this number? This is the account number, account ID. That means
Or it is tenant
AWS
ID.
account ID. I mean, your AWS account is there, right? For that, they'll maintain one account ID, account number. Like how you have a bank account number, right? Same way,
Yeah.
AWS can manage account number.
And one doubt, Shiva. So this account number will be same even whatever the ARN is different. Also, account will be same or it will be
See,
different.
same. Enter your account, this account number will be same. What it will be changing? The internal resources will be changing. For example, I said, EC2 if you're going, account number is same only. This is your account only, right?
Yeah.
Like that. Just a minute.
Can you? Okay. Can you? This account ID and your tenant ID is same or but only here only we'll use the account ID.
Okay, let me show you that. We are experimenting here, right? Somewhere, where is that IAM? Can you able to see this number?
Yeah, yeah, account ID. Understood.
This number is constant. This number is constant. Enter in this account. In this
Okay.
account, complete account. This AWS root account is there, right? In this account, this is the common number.
Is it called tenant?
Tenant
No.
means
If someone says tenant ID or AWS ID, uh,
you can feel like anything.
okay.
Tenant ID also same, account ID also same.
Okay. Okay, you
Okay,
can continue, Shiva. Sorry, we were explaining about that ARN.
correct. So, like for example, you treat them like a bank account. So, for example, you went to the bank and if you give the account number, they'll give complete information to you, right?
Yeah.
Same way, this ARN holds all the information and this will take care of everything. I mean, complete information. So, let's take another example. So, for example, in my account, your account is different, my account is different, correct? So, in my account, I'll create a group with the same name. In my
Okay.
account, my AWS account, I'll create a group with same name. Dev team only, my group name also. Then AWS will create a ARN, correct? For my
Okay.
account also it will create a ARN, for your account also create a ARN. Now, how do you differentiate? Because I said ARN is a unique name, it will be assigned in each and every resource and each and every account, correct? Then, since name is same, then how AWS can assign the ARN?
Yeah.
Is everything same only,
Using
but what it will change?
account ID, I think.
Account ID. That means unique representation of the resources in your account made with account number. That's account ID. After the account number, you can see we are dealing the things with the group, right? Group is came, then slash group name is there. Now let's take another example. I created a group called sales team. I created a group called sales team. What are the things will change as per you?
If we are creating under IAM, again, it on everything will be same
Mhm.
except a sales team. Instead of dev team, it will be sales team.
Absolutely correct. Okay, let's take another example. I created a user called Ranga. Then what are the things will change?
If you created a user, again, instead of in this ARN AWS IAM, then my account ID group slash my name Ranga slash no my it will be after group which is slash dev team slash last will be my name Ranga.
Mhm.
No,
No, because I'm not adding to you to the group, right? I'm just creating a group, a user with your name.
okay. In that case, it will be like ARN AWS IAM my account ID and then I my name alone. I think.
Okay. Look at this is I am in the group. Group is coming up. If I'm in the user,
Yeah,
user will come
yeah. Only my name.
at their last. This is user slash username. Similar
Okay.
way.
Slash
Policy slash
user
policy.
username.
User username.
Correct.
Policy
I
policy name.
understood.
Role name.
I
Group name. Like that.
correct.
Okay.
Understood.
Next. Are there any users part of this group? No.
No use.
The group is zero. An IAM user is an entity that you can create in AWS to represent the person or application that uses to interact with the AWS. Any permissions we added? We didn't
No.
add any permissions, but make sure you can able to add 10, you can attach up to 10 managed policies. Make sure for this particular group, how many policies we can add means you can attach up to 10 manager policies.
This group means is generally all the groups in AWS. Whether it's free tier account, paid account, or is this 10 managed policies
10 manager
common
policies.
for
One particular group
standard?
standard.
Okay.
For example, dev team 10 policies, sales team 10 policies, other team 10 policies, like that. That's a kind of, I mean, max set value.
Okay.
Then you added the permissions, you added the users also to this group, and now if the user access anything, the user part of this group, if they access anything, you need to track that, right? What he
Yeah.
accessed, when he accessed, what are the things he accessed, what he modified, like this you want to see, right? U means root user. Then access advisor is the place where you can able to see that. Last access information shows the services that this group can access and when those services were last accessed and review this data to remove unused permissions. Got it? That means,
Doubt.
yeah,
So right now you're logged in as a root user or you're logged in as a standard user, right?
I am as a IAM user, but I have a root permission.
But yeah, but if you are in IAM, if you are logged into as an IAM user, will you still get this access advisor? Because a root user only can need to know what
Exactly.
IAM user did, access advisor, other things, right? If you are using, if you are logging in as a IAM user, will you still get this access advisor option?
I am the administrator. The user which I am have, right? I am the administrator permission. That's the reason I can able to see that. But generally, root user only have the permission to see this.
So if I'm creating a normal user, for example, I'm creating a normal IAM user,
Correct.
Shiva, and you log into that account as a
Correct.
normal user.
Mhm.
If you go to the, if you, you should, we will not be able to see the screen at all, right?
Able to,
Access advisor.
you cannot able to see that. I'll show that. I'll create one more user, and that user will try to do that. You cannot able to see that. I'll show that.
Fine, fine.
Okay. Hope you clear on this, right? Creating a group.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Now, let's anyway, we want to add some permissions, right? As per the theory, what we learned. So we need to add some permissions. Correct. What permissions we need to give? Create a group called dev team and attach Amazon EC2 read-only access. So this is the permission. This permission I want to attach. How to attach? Let me search this. Atava right side here. Can you see? Add permissions are there.
Yeah.
So here attach policies are there. Click on attach policies. So here I can able to attach. So the policy name is Amazon EC2 EC2 read. This is the one. Amazon EC2 read only access. This is the policy. Who created this policy?
It is actually it's managed by AWS. AWS
AWS.
managed.
Able to see that there, right? I said already two manager policies, two types are there. AWS manager and customer manager. This is AWS managed. Again, the word you can see. You can attach up to 10 manager policies to this group. All of the users in this group inherit the attached permissions.
Okay.
I am attaching attach policies. Now, one permission is there in this particular group now.
Yeah.
Okay, then this part is completed.
Yeah.
We'll move on to the user part now. Like this, you can create developers, QA admins. Like this, you can create in your account. Okay.
I'll keep it as a task.
Yeah, yeah. Next, IAM users are individuals or applications. Console or programmatic access. Remember, two types of access are there in IAM. I said already. One is console access. Another one is programmatic access. Athava console access people used to call it as a GUI, graphical user interface. Programmatic access called by command line interface. Okay. Next, best practice, no root usage for the daily activities. This is the predefined word. Make sure for doing the day-to-day activities, right? We should not use root user. We should use normal IAM users only.
Okay.
Even in the company also, nobody will use that.
Okay.
Okay, create a user with console plus CLI access and verify with AWS S3 LS command. Okay, that means here what we need to do is first we need to create one user. Okay, after creating a user, then for the same user we can log in with console also, we can log in with CLI also. Both the permissions, how to do that, I'll show that. Okay. How both will work, I'll tell you. So one is console, another one is programmatic. Okay. Console means GUI, programmatic means CLI. So let's will create one user. Users. You can see this word. An IAM user is an identity with the long-term credentials that is used to interact with the AWS in an account. So long-term credentials means the password which you're going to use is there for at least 90 days, 180 days, based upon you. How you define, right? Based upon that, it should be there. Okay. Let me create a user now. User creation steps are more is there, remember? Okay. If any point, if you didn't understand, let me know. Okay.
Sure.
Click on create user. There are three-step process. Specify the user details, set the permissions, review and create. This many options are there. Username. First thing I'm creating as a user, right? What is, most unique thing is in this one is username only. Okay. So let me create a user with your name only. This is the username I given. Username can have up to 64 characters. Valid characters are A to Z, A to Z, 0 to 9 and equals, like this can be used. Now they're asking, provide user access to AWS Management Console, optional. That means they're asking that you are creating a user, right? Do you want to
Yeah.
provide this user as a console access or the programmatic access? Programmatic access, they didn't ask anything right now. They're asking console access. If I check this box, I can able to log in. Then after check this box, you can see if you are providing console access to a person, it's best practice to manage their access in identity center. Identity center is different. That we'll discuss further. Then here, are you providing console access to a person? User type. Specify a user in identity center recommended. I want to create an IAM user. I'll choose the second option. We recommend that you
Mhm.
create an IAM user only if you need to enable programmatic access through access keys, service specific credentials for AWS code commit or key spaces, or a backup credentials for emergency account access. Any question here?
When you're creating user, why it is asking us to provide access to Amazon Management Console? Because without Amazon Management Console, how come the user? What is the point of creating user? They will not be able to log in, right?
We can log in with the CLI, right? Command line interface.
Okay, so okay, that is the reason. If you
This is
don't click on that checkbox,
the
then that
didn't
person
click
only
CLI only.
can use only.
See, this is below one you can see. If I didn't select, if you're creating programmatic access through access keys, the service specific credentials for AWS code commit, Amazon key spaces, or you can generate them after you create this user. That means it will treat them as a programmatic. If you didn't select this one, if you select this, it will
Mhm.
consider as a console.
Okay, understood.
Next, so password also two ways we can create. One we can go with auto generated, another we can go with custom. We can provide our own password. I'll go with custom. I'll give some random password. Okay, I given the password. Then this is very important because I'm creating a user. Absolutely, who will going to log into this one? Somebody you going to log in, right? If I'm creating a user, somebody will going to log in with this user, right? So I'm enforcing that the person when they log in first time, right? He has to change their password in the first time only. When the person going to log in, right? That moment he has to change the password. Just this option. User must create a new password the next sign in. Recommended. Users
Okay.
automatically get the IAM password change policy to allow them to change their own password. Why do we need to change? One question, correct?
Yeah.
What is the use? If I change the password, what is the problem? If I'm not changing the password, what will happen?
For security compliance, I think.
Your password should be known by yourself only. Other than you, nobody should know your password, correct? Your password should be known by yourself only, not by anybody. But here root knows your password, right?
Yeah, correct, correct.
That's the reason they're asking us to change. If you change, then you only knows your password.
But is it like recommended, right? Why, if that is the case, they should have made it as mandatory, but why they are made it as optional?
Because if they
Because see, yeah,
correct. So some people, what will happen? You are creating some test user. Okay,
yeah,
you are the root user. You are creating some test user. Test means user means those you want to be like you're using that user for testing some application or something. Okay, that is not for long term. After you completed your work, you'll be going to delete that. So for that also, do I need to change the password?
no.
Best practices should be changed, but for me it's a temporary access, right? I'm the root user, I'm only using that user also, temporary user also. Such a moment
Yeah.
I could not able to make it as a mandatory, right?
Yes.
That's the reason they use the word recommended. Always in the AWS terminology, they won't enforce fully. They make it
Okay.
as a recommended. That means as a best practices you can use this method like that.
Okay. Okay.
Next, I'm moving to the next section. Hope this section is clear for you, correct?
S-
Any questions or confusions in this one?
No, no.
Okay. Next.
But but if you create using the you don't need to go to previous. If you create using the GLI, still you will be able to use the CLI. But if you create user account with only CLI programmatic, you will not be able to use the GLI, correct?
Exactly. But if you
Okay.
want, you can ask root account to grant the GUI later also.
So okay, fine. And
Okay.
another thing, when you're creating groups, that time we only created group. We did not assign any permissions. After creating the group, only you assign permissions. But if you see now in the left side, the step one, step two is there. It is asking create user and set permissions. Without setting permissions, you cannot create only user. Huh?
We can create user.
It's like, is it mandatory to set permissions for a user or only user we can create?
Only user we can create. Later we can able to set the permissions.
Because it said set step one, step two. So
Correct.
that's why I want.
I'll tell you that here. See, you have a permissions now.
Yeah.
Set the permissions. Add user to an existing group. Create a new one. Using group is the best practices way to manage the permissions by the job functions. Job functions means developer, admin, network admin, system admin. Like this, multiple people are there, right? For based upon their roles and responsibility wise, setting up this is the best practice. They're saying that. Okay. So, but assume that I want to just create a user. I don't want to add any permissions. Okay. Such a moment, I can go ahead. Okay. You can see copy permissions are there. What is this copy permissions? Nothing but you have already some users are there. Remember, you have already some users are there. So in that user, already some permissions also there for that user. Same permissions want for you also. You
Yeah.
both
Can you
can.
click on that?
Hmm.
Okay. I
See,
understood.
I want to grant the
Yes.
permissions like Amod. Then
Okay.
I can choose.
I
No, no,
understood.
I don't want to give as like existing users. I want to give with the permission. Then I can go with attach policies directly.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, these are other options. But I'm not selecting anything here. Okay,
Okay.
next. This is the review and create page. Review your choices. After you create the user, you can view and download the auto generated passwords if enabled. Okay, you can see username, console password, custom password I given. I know my password. Required password is at yes. Then I said right, when the person trying to change the password, IAM user change password permission they will get by default. That is AWS manager and permission policy. Then tag. Next one is a tag. Tag nothing but, for example, you want to like for example additional information about the user. You can treat like this. Tag nothing but
Okay.
additional information about the user. More information you want to give to this user. Such a moment we can able to add this. Why do we need this if you ask? Okay. For an example, one Ranga, just a normal Ranga is there. One more guy is NT Ranga is there. Another guy is Ranga Rav is there. Another guy is with, I mean, first time same, but last time can be different. Okay, like that is there.
Yeah.
Now assume that I am the admin. I am the admin guy. Right? I am the root user, right? Somebody pinged me. Somebody called me. Okay, hey, please reset my password. My name is Ranga. Then whom to reset?
Yeah, you'll not be able to find out, correct?
Correct. And I need to ask some details, right? Validation. For
Yeah.
that, I can ask at least what is your employee ID, like which
Yeah.
team you belongs to, who is your reporting manager, what is your
Yeah,
business
correct.
location you are working, correct, like that. So if at all I want to validate, first the details should be required right here. That's the reason I can add like this: EMP ID, employee ID, then location. Not mandatory, but if you add, that would be better.
That is again a question. If it is, why it is not? See, I know it is. They have made it as not recommended, but these are all useful features. But why they are always optional?
Because tags are the key value pairs. You can add AWS resources to help the identity, organize or search for resources. Choose any tags you want to be associated with this user because somebody don't want to add that. I have given the like overview. Okay, somebody don't want to add those particular tags. Such a moment we can ignorable also. That's the reason they made it optional. In my
Okay.
use
Okay.
case, it's valid. I'm telling that if suppose the person called me and asking for reset means how do I reset? Because without knowing the person, without accessing the validation, I cannot do that. Correct. So such a moment it's required. But AWS thinking multiple ways, right? I'm thinking in this way. AWS thinking in different direction also. That's the reason they
Okay.
made it optional.
Okay.
Okay. Then we can create user. User will be created now.
Okay.
Yes, successfully created a user. You can review and download the user password, email instructions, signing up the AWS management console. Okay, so now we can see in the down. This is the details: console sign in, username, and password.
Okay. So user should be able to sign in to AWS using that particular link.
Link. Without this link, also can able to log in. I said like last time. Without this link, also user can log in. But what he has to remember? Account
The
number.
MFA account number. Oh
I,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'll show that. Okay. Now user is created. Return to users
Okay.
list. Continue. Now you can see the user is successfully created with the main account only created. He is not part of any of the groups. He didn't log in last activity null. Password also we didn't change. He didn't log in also.
Yeah.
Now I'll try to log in now. Let me open an incognito window. AWS.
Here only, here only, I think you can use that multi-session support.
But there's
Bus.
required a pay.
Oh, is it to pay? It's not
Uh,
free. Yeah. Okay.
uh, AWS console, AWS web services, create an account, or sign in.
Great, great. Sign in.
Create account means there only I'll get an option to log in. See, able to see? IAM
Okay.
user mean
We have to enter the account ID.
account
Correct.
ID or alias
We
username.
cannot remember. Correct.
Ah, this is the place which required that link. If I remember, I can. If I didn't remember, then the link is required for me. Okay.
Can you post that link in the next tab?
I'll use this one, this link.
Not this link. The link initially, the login link.
I'll show that.
See.
Now, can you see right side elements? These three.
Yeah.
This is the URL that.
Okay.
But if you compare my account, your account, this URL is not same.
Yeah. This is whose account? No. This is your account.
Correct. So here, this name won't be there for you.
Okay.
In the place of this, what is there means account number will be there. This number is there, right? This number will be there. So that's the reason I created as a alias. Alias name you might be knows, right? Like pet name.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that means for this number, this is the alias name, pet name.
So that AWS Amod is replaced by account ID.
Rajni alias Talaiva, like
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
use
Yeah. Correct.
like that.
Understood.
This is personal name. Talaiva is the pet name.
So how will you get that alias? How will you get the sign in URL for my account? You have to go to my user ID.
Account alias is there, right? Here, create alias is there for you.
Okay.
You need to click on create alias and you need to give the name must be unique name. Remember, in the world, the name what you are providing, right? That must be unique across the world. If anybody already using that name, right, you could not able to use that name.
Okay.
Such a way you need to create a name. That's the reason I created this name, AWS Amod,
Okay.
so that I can remember this name. So I don't want this URL right now.
Okay.
I have a short name, right? I can easily remember this name, right? Using this name, I
So
like.
you okay. AWS Amod. That's all.
Okay. That's all. Then I can give my username. What is the user I created? Ranga. RANG Ranga. Then I can set up the password. Sign in. You are using sign in with the root to using email address. Correct. You are using that.
Yeah.
I am using this.
Okay.
Okay. Sign in. See, it's came.
It's good.
Your account number is correct. Password has expired at our request a reset. To continue, please verify your old and set a new password for this user. Okay. I can enter my old password first because we given that option, right, to reset my password at the first sign in. That's the reason I had to change the password. But old password, new password cannot be same.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, show me the link instead of this alias. There is another link, right?
Correct.
That link. So login page. Can you show me?
I'll confirm the password change so that it will allow me to log in. Now onwards, which password I need to use? New password. Okay, I'm able to log in.
Yeah. Can you show me the login page in the different window, Shiva? Not this one. The
Uh,
URL, not this URL.
huh?
First one URL is created, right? For the user.
Same user. This is the URL only that one. It's a universal URL.
So is
The
this the
all right.
URL?
Create the user. The URL which you saw, right? When creating the user, that URL, this URL, both are same only.
Okay.
Okay. I'll use
But
this URL to log in now. Okay.
that didn't have the alias name, no?
It's there. It's there. See, in the URL itself, there, right? Alias name. I mean, I have created alias name before itself. That's the reason it was there. For you now, if you create like you created the user, but user link is there, right? In that link, instead of alias name, account number will be there. But
Yeah, that is.
later you created alias, then URL will change immediately. This URL. But
Can you go back? Can you
mhm,
go back to the user?
this user here,
Not to the logged in. Go
users.
from this in yeah, user
Uh,
user. Click on that user.
mhm.
Okay. Here. Okay.
Okay, you
Here
want
and
the link, right? I'll show that. This is the one. See,
this correct. This is what.
same
This
user
is the same. Correct.
link only.
User
Yeah.
correct.
If at all I want to
Sorry.
log
Yeah.
in, I want to test in new browser only. I have a Safari browser. I'll check in Safari browser because main window in current window both I covered up already. Then I don't have a place to log in now. That's the reason I need to go for other browsers only now. See, I entered this URL directly. Okay. I don't want to enter the name. See, this name automatically take up based on the URL
Yeah. Got
and
it.
just username password. See, only one time only it asks to change the password. Every time it won't ask. First time only we said right. That's the first time it asked to change the password. Now it's all right.
Yeah. Got it.
But you cannot access anything. See, everything access denied. Whatever you access, for everything access denied only. Let me access IAM. See, access EC2.
Okay. So from an IAM user, which is the standard user, like
Mm,
what you are having now,
correct.
we'll be able to log into the AWS console, but but we'll be able to view the resource name only. We'll not be able to
Previous.
say anything, correct?
Exactly. Because of permission issue. We didn't added any permission. We didn't provision any permission.
Okay. So who root has to give all the permission from this console itself? See, because again, if it is if I am the user and you are the root user, okay, fine.
Root
If
is a
you are the root user, if you are the IAM user,
mhm.
from this window itself, will you be able to connect to root user? Like
No,
you will not be able to connect to
no. This guy doesn't have any permission, right? He cannot do anything.
not anything. Okay.
Now, what I'll do means, you see here, let me change the region. My resources are in Ohio. I'll come to Ohio,
Why I asked is because, for example, you're a user in a Windows computer. Okay,
right?
so you'll also have the admin credential. So in a command prompt or in the user access control,
Correct.
you can mention admin credential and you can
But
still
that
log into
not in the
another.
here. That's there in
Okay.
Windows, but here it's not there. Okay. See, look at I'm in Ohio. I don't have any permissions to see that. Correct. Now,
Yeah,
what I'll do
you
means,
can manually change the region. No problem changing the region.
changing the region is no problem. Any region you can go out of this.
Region. Okay. What is the benefit of changing region?
That's up to you. Like,
Or
where are your resources? By default, it was took to some region. Okay. But my things are kept in Ohio. So I need to access in Ohio only, right? Like that.
okay, okay.
For might be you are in UK, correct? Europe, London, Paris, Stockholm. These are the regions that they're in UK.
If your resources are in Ohio and if you choose a different region, you will not be able to access or you will be able to access slow.
I mean, region you can region you can access, but the resources is there in your region, the different region, right? See, now you are in London, correct? Assume that now you are in London. Can I able to find you in Bangalore?
No, no, no. Yeah.
That means, but I can able to talk to you virtually, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Same way, you cannot find those resources in that particular region, but if at all you want to interact with anything to that, you can create separate resources and you can interact. But physically,
Okay.
those are not
Okay.
present.
So basically, if you know the first thing, if for example, if the an issue comes, and the first question you have to ask is the ARN as well as the region where the
Exactly.
resources are placed,
Region,
correct?
which region
Without
you
that, will you
kept, which region your resources are there, first thing. Then post that. So what is your ARN?
okay,
Like
okay, Shiva.
now, we'll do one thing. We have a group, right? This is a group. This group already having permission. That is Amazon EC2 read-only access, correct? Now, the user what we created, will add that user to this group.
Yeah, you can add.
Add users are there. I just click on the user groups, group name, add users. I'll select the user, add user. Now, immediately, this permission is activated for that user now. What I can do, I can go back and I can refresh. I can refresh. If I refresh it, then I can able to see the resources now. See, earlier permission didn't I'm getting, but now I can able to see them. But remember, what is the permission we granted here?
Read only.
Read only. That means
But how come you are having Terraform and other thing? You didn't add any objects, no?
create the servers for my use.
Okay, okay.
Not now,
But
for my,
normally it will not show anything, right? Instance, it will be zero for me if I'm going to create.
because you didn't create anything, right? That's in zero. So read only means only you can see. You cannot do anything. I'll do one thing. I'll try to start this server. Okay.
Okay,
I
okay,
cannot.
okay, understood.
You're not authorized to perform this operation. Here are the ARNC.
But one doubt, Shiva. But how come these two instances got listed here? Is it because in that policy these two instances are already available?
No, no. I created those those two servers are there, right? I created long back those services in my account,
Okay,
root account. I meant to say. Okay. That's the reason it's reflecting here.
because we created user Ranga and we added one in new user we created, new user group we created,
I got your
and we
question.
didn't create. We did. You understood my question. Instance, we didn't create anything, but these
How?
instance which are created, you
Sir,
is listing in my user account. So
correct. I got your question. Understand like this. I said one word. IAM users are not a separate accounts. They're a part of the root account. You able to catch this word?
can you repeat it?
IAM users are not a separate accounts. They are part of your root account.
Yeah, yeah,
That means now who is root user for this account? The guy Amod, correct?
yeah.
Then
Correct.
if Amod is a root account, Amod created my user named Shivananda. Now Amod made me as a administrator.
Yeah,
Real root user is Amod only. What I am then? What is Shivananda here? Shivananda is a IAM user, come administrator of this account. Okay. Shivananda created one more user that is Ranga.
yeah.
But before creating Ranga, Shivananda already created some servers.
Okay,
Those servers Amod can view, Ranga also can view. If I create another 10 users, those 10 users also can see what Shivananda is doing.
Okay.
You can understand the hierarchy. Root user,
Understood.
normal user. So root user can see what normal users are doing. Other users also can see what you are doing
Okay.
if they have the permission.
Okay. Okay.
That's the reason I use the word IAM users are not a separate accounts. They are part of your root account only.
Okay. But
Like
in real world also work like this, sir.
exactly.
Because
Same way.
my
You give an example Windows that is pretty much will match here. You said I have created a administrator user. I created a normal user. If normal user wants to be access something on admin, it can access. Correct.
yeah.
Same way, for example, you think you are the normal user in the Windows server. So you created some files in the desktop. You
Yeah.
created some files in the desktop. Correct. When you log in as the administrator, the files what you created in the desktop, will the admin be able to see those files?
Yes, I think so.
No, that's what here.
Okay.
Got it? Bit confusing, correct?
Bit confusing. No, no. Bit confusing means why it is little bit confusing because you said other users also will be, for example, if Shiva creates 10 other users, each user can see what Shiva has created, right? But
Exactly, because there are same account
like
only.
security, right? I should not able to see what you is there in your AWS, and you should not be able to see what is in my AWS console,
I tell
what
you,
I have access to. Right?
we are part of the same company. We are working for same organization.
Yeah.
Your shift is over. You will leave for the organization. Next, my shift will start. Correct. You created some servers. You're supporting the project. Then I create my servers. Else I cannot support for a project, right? Project means everybody supporting is a project. Correct.
Correct.
Okay. You think like this. You created resources in your account and you left the organization.
Okay.
Then I cannot see your servers, right? Then how can I support the project? That means you left the organization
Uh,
means company can close it, the project can be closed.
okay. Okay. Okay.
Correct.
Understood.
If you give the organization generally what the company will do means just simply they'll go to IAM and they'll remove your user. That's it. If they remove your username, your details will remove. That's it. But they never delete what you did. Like you created 10 servers, you created some files, you created some users. Those never delete. They'll delete your identity. That's it. They never delete your resources.
Okay. Okay. Got it, Shiva.
Okay, that's the place individuality will come.
Yeah. Understood.
So then today what we learn how to log out means you can click on sign out option is there. We can click, we can log out. I mean right side the name is there, right? If you click on this, sign out is there. If I click on sign out, then it will log out.
What is that switch role? So if you use only this multiple sessions, then switch role we can use.
I'll
What?
come. I said right here. I am giving some example right here. A role we can able to use to grant some specific permission with the without password username.
Yeah.
That's the place that switch role will come.
Okay.
Then
Okay. Fine.
these two things are clear, but CLI was not clear. We didn't made anything on the CLI, correct?
Yeah. Correct. We didn't make.
So right now console only we worked with. Next class what we'll do
Yeah.
means for this particular user, how do I need to grant CLI access?
Okay. Okay. Sure.
And how I can log in with the CLI, then how I can perform the day-to-day operations using CLI. That's I'll show. Then after that we'll go for roles and policies.
Okay. Okay. Shiva.
Okay. So you already have the access for this. You look for this particular task and you can do. Okay. Regarding to these two user groups and users.
Okay.
I created as like I created a user, right? Same way you can create your own user, you different user, group
Okay.
user,
Sure.
these methods, and you can try. In next class, we'll practice the rest of the things.
Okay. Okay. Shiva.
So
Shiva,
that then
you're teaching SharePoint also.
SharePoint.
You have any idea on that?
I mean, SharePoint developer. I used to work earlier, but not. I'm not teaching about that because I have only a little bit of understanding on that.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
I'm into like more into AWS, Azure, Oracle Cloud. DevOps, Linux networking, those technologies only majorly.
Everything you're studying Splunk also, I think.
Yeah, yeah, Splunk. I mean, major tools. I mean, almost 40 to 50 plus tools I'm teaching with respect to DevOps when it comes.
Okay, okay, Shiva.
Okay. Okay, Nanga, then. We'll catch up tomorrow then. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Shiva.